Spread out, crouch. Make sure it says capturing. Just move a little bit. Crouch here,
Make sure it
fire.
catch-
Spread out,
says
fire.
capturing.
At the
Move
logs,
past
at the
me,
logs,
move
and at the
past
ones
me,
close.
Move past me, move past me. Make sure it says capture.
Send the lead right oblique.
Make sure to stay crouching while you're reloading all of that. Danger close
Flag
charging
down.
us.
Flag, 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 flag. I got it. I'm down.
Flag down again.
You're too far forward. Fall it back to reload.
Keep it crouched and hidden.
Never mind, I'm dead with the flag.
Flag down.
Flag.
There are many dedicated units, companies, regiments, and brigades in the ongoing War of Rights. The one we'll be focusing on today prides itself on its small unit tactics, battlefield deception, and tight-knit camaraderie. Under the kind leadership of Colonel Slumpy, a man whose love for War of Rights runs almost as deep as his love for his grandmother, and wants only to see the game grow, attract, and retain players. He is assisted in his duties by First Sergeant D1 Crashout, a historian at heart who flourishes in small and intense skirmishes. Based on the real-life unit of Mosby's Rangers, led by Colonel John S. Mosby, otherwise known as the Gray Ghost, the partisan cavalry commander of the 43rd Battalion, Virginia Cavalry, which saw action throughout the entirety of the American Civil War, primarily in Northern Virginia. This unit does its best to emulate the strategy of Colonel Mosby, with light cavalry, accurate rifle fire, and a get-in, get-out philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to Mosby's Raiders.
Well, I want to be in the cavalry if they send me off to war. I want a good steed under me like my forefathers before. I want a good mount when the bugle sounds and I hear the cannons roar. Well, I want to be in the cavalry if they send me off to war. Well, I want a horse and a volunteer force that's riding forth at dawn. Please save for me some gallantry that will echo when I'm gone. I beg of you, Sarge, let me lead the charge and the battle lines are drawn.
New York, take this lead.
Leave a good hoofbeat that remember
Go to hell, you bastard. Yo, is that a yank over yonder?
Damn revs.
All I was hearing was,
I say we learn the revs.
okay, shooting.
You're gonna be able to jump that far, Alex.
If there's a yank over there, I gotta shoot a yank over there. For Grandma.
Oh, he's dead as bones.
Oh shit, I actually hit that mother. Oh shit!
Oh my god, you hit that.
Jesus.
We gotta go.
I want a good mount when the bugle sounds and I hear the cannons roar. Well, I want to be in the cavalry if they send me off to war.
Of Mosby's best, beware. Mosby's Raiders, Colonel Slumpy.
Mosby's Raiders, First Sergeant D1 Crashout.
The biggest misconception I get of this game, and I get this from every other game I play Holdfast a lot, and I mentioned that I lead a unit more rights, is the racism, the trolling, and just like weird people in the community is what I see it keeps a lot of people away.
For me, the biggest misconception is a lot of people say, oh, this is just another shooter that's poorly made, or it's just, solely a role-playing game. But it's a little bit of both, depends on, what you do in the game. Some units do role-play only, and then some units like us, we like to do more of the tactical, strategic gameplay instead of solely focusing on the role-play aspect of the game.
The organization, and you have actual control over who can enter and who can't. No, a lot of it has helped, like with the trolling aspect, is because every game does have trolls, but with these regimental things, you can keep them out. You can keep them out of your private events and organization as well. I can go to an event and be on a call with another officer that's across the game from me, and I can't do that. I have to write a paragraph to another guy inside of a pub match, and I have to trust that he even reads it.
And like even listens to you.
You know, it's the organization and the polishing, so to speak. Like the leaders, they generally in regimental play, they have battle plans. They talk about it extensively before the match, and that allows them to, you know, incorporate actual competitive aspects to the game compared to pubs where it's a bunch of chaos and less organized and so on and so forth.
Yeah, pubs, you'll get strategies that are more of like a CS:GO strat where everybody's like rush site B.
Rush B.
But they're like, I take left, do this thing because in pubs they always have a preset meta or they have a determined strategy that happens over and over every single time. When in regimental matches, I hardly ever get one that was the same. The appeal to me and what had got me to start was around 2023. It was like really popular on YouTube, and I think I bought it around that time. And what I liked the most, and from what I saw, a global voice chat. You could talk to anybody in the game, and the interactions you could have are like hilarious. That's my favorite part of this is just the interactions, and you can talk to everybody in the game, and that's 400 people you can talk to at the same time is hilarious to me.
For me, the voice chat, you know, it allows you to have the interactions with the community, and to me, it's really the majority of the community is the best part. Like, yes, there's trolls, but for the most part, the community as a whole isn't very toxic, and there's not really bad players. Everybody is, you know, pretty much wholesome and accepting for the most part.
I like that I meet so many other people because it's a Civil War game, and so I trust that they like the Civil War enough to buy it, a game based around it. I know a little bit like surface level knowledge, but I think it's great to hop in a game that it like projects it, it brings it to life almost to where you don't have to go out like travel miles away and go to a reenactment. You can just play it at your house. That's cool.
Yeah, those reenactment events.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to one soon because of it. And I love that. And then you can just interact with people and talk about the game as well.
Yeah, no, I've had the opportunity to play in some of those big events, and they're really, it puts it into a lot of perspective, and I think it creates a lot of appeal for the history. And I think,
Yeah,
like you were saying, what like the biggest misconception about war fights, I think the fact that it is based in the American Civil War is what attracts a lot of that incorrect assumption about it.
Yes, yeah, a lot, especially with a bunch of CSA regiments.
I really like the Civil War era. A lot of games that attempt this don't get it right. They either get certain aspects wrong or they don't quite encompass that whole vibe with their gameplay or their mechanics quite like War Rights does. Like with their ticket system in War Rights is really good, and it helps encompass like the vibe of death's meaning a lot during the Civil War. Whereas other games such as Arma, for example, you know, you died, it's not really that big of a deal, but in this, each death matters.
Yeah, I compare it a lot to like Battle Cry of Freedom or Holdfast, where
Yeah.
I love how it's a game, but it's not arcadey in the sense, more simulated to be realistic than it is arcadey. The one that I can think of top of my head is it was Hagerstown Turnpike. You have a uniform you can get from the 1st Louisiana Zouaves that if you color it right, you have the exact color pattern as the enemy team's Zouave unit, the Brooklyn one. The only difference is you don't have the red hat. You wear this little fez, and you have like slightly like puffier pants. So me and around 8 other people joined a union company for the like around 30 minutes of the game, and you could see on the whole after action map a red line mixed in with a blue one for 30 minutes. We put the Union into taking losses and we started doing the rebel chant in their line and everybody's freaking out. They're like, why are we rebel chanting? Yeah, we'll send you clip. It was the greatest thing ever.
D1, you got to follow that up with something crazy, man.
That is a really good moment. But my favorite moment was when we had snuck, like, I don't know, it was probably 6 of our guys. We had stolen enemy battery from them, stole a whole cannon and a casing
Yeah.
full of ammo
We stole an
Yeah.
entire Union battery. We stole all their cannons and their ammo.
right under their noses.
Community interaction. Off of the dev team, I see one guy consistently get on, and that's Chaplain Bradley. And when they do get on, he is the only one I ever see interact. I know I've been on with Pingu before. He does a lot of the musician stuff. He got on to play musical instruments. I remember that. But they need community interaction more. That would help with maybe more moderation because it is like a barren wasteland when they update the game and they put it on their test server. Put admins on your test server that you trust because they have people to run their Reddits and to run official Discord of the War of Rights. Why don't you give them moderation power on the test server to at least help that out to improve the gameplay during that time? Because people will get these misconceptions that the game's unmoderated because they're going to join the game off of a fresh update that they bought the game for, and it's going to be unmoderated. So those same things they've been hearing constantly that make them not want to get the game, they just get as soon as they buy it. They do say you can mute people. That is an option. You can mute them. But going through and having to mute like 30 people that are doing it is insane.
For me, it's just animations. It's improved greatly over the past couple patches, but there are still animation issues, especially with climbing and full kit animations, such as putting your bayo on. Sometimes you'll be stuck in an animation loop where you put on the
permanent
bayonet 4 times. Yeah. And then like climbing some of the fences is kind of bugged, and then the rocks especially like
Every
that
time I
for
play,
me.
my entire unit just like scream, "I hate these rocks!"
I
Yeah.
say I have a personal beef with Fallen Logs. Quality of life changes essentially of the game.
Yeah.
What I find is easiest for people to do is to find a playstyle they like if they like the game. If they like to charge a lot, there's always going to be an officer that is consistently going to just charge no matter what. I remember when I started,
Yeah,
it
go for
was
it.
charging. I always wanted to charge. So say you like to Rambo a lot or like skirmish, that's usually I pick up a lot of people off of that. Find a dude you can follow when you're a new player that can teach you what you like the most and can do what you want to do to just have fun. Because at the end of the game, it's just a game. You don't got to think that deep. Just find something you like to do to have fun and find someone that can help you do it a lot more.
I say join a regiment because most regiments have experienced people who could teach you. They also have new guys that you can click with the new guy because y'all both don't know what the fuck's going on. At the same time, don't just join the first regiment you see. Do your research. Talk to people. No hate on the 30th, but I'm not a big line unit guy, and they have a massive unit overall, so that's a lot of line units.
30th North Carolina reorganized into a brigade now. You're talking about 30th North Carolina?
Yeah. So yeah, just do your research. Find a unit that clicks with your playstyle.
The best part of the community, the amount I see of the people there are willing to help guys just learn the game and want to keep it is a lot. What I like the most is their willingness to teach other people and to get people to learn and to want to keep the game. They want to retain a player base. It's great to see that they just drop what they're doing and give you free time to just teach you something. Like they take up amount of their time that they're playing a game to teach you a game.
There's a lot of organized events out there that are private that helps retain players, and a lot of events allow mercenaries for different regiments. So you could be a pubs player, but if you want to be like, hey, let me give this organized event a try, people are open to let you mercenary for them.
Here we go. There's only like a small group of like 10 to 20 of just like trolls, racists, just weird people. That's the only part of the community that I can say is bad, and they're just a loud minority. Those people are what the whole game catches a bad rep for. There's going to be out of a 300 player game, one or two of those people, but you're going to hear of them constantly because everybody's talking about them. It would stop if you quit giving them attention.
For me, it's the same 5 to 10 guys that lead. Always, they don't ever let nobody else give it a shot, and they lead poorly at that. I understand you're level 100, you have 2,000 hours in this game, but let somebody else lead, and don't make fun of the level 20 guy who's trying to lead, because how is he going to learn to lead if you don't let him?
You're talking like 5,000 hours. This is the only game they play, and they don't want anyone else to touch their stuff. Imagine
go
you
ahead.
had 5 people that looked like 30. You have a smaller force that appears literally like 5 times your size, and it's 10 of the most well-trained people that can move on a dime when you say it, and it's like you have a special forces unit in a game that can move, do everything appropriately, and they can hit accurately 300 yards on the dot every time. Black Powder Spec Op, yeah. Specializing in flanking and getting around and creating diversions. Yesterday, we drew a 40-man unit off of the line 3 times, and it helped our team win later. That's the idea, the way they did in real life.
Think of the Patriot, how Mel Gibson and his little band of misfits, they're off in the woods. You don't really see them, and if you do see them, you think, "Oh crap, that's a bunch." When it's only 10 guys, like we're in, we go sow chaos, and we leave.
Hola, please join. Would you like to join us? We're gonna do some crazy shit right now. If you want to join, what we do is blend in, get behind, and destroy them. We embody battlefield deception. If you want to do that, then you can join us.
We're not the standard 40-man line company. We're small, we're tight knit. We're a bunch of friends. At the end of the day, we don't have the issues that big companies have with communications issues or anything that arises from large organizations because we're small, we're tight knit.
It's getting people to listen is the first part. It's getting people motivated to want to do things to follow you and around you. You got to sound loud, confident, and be a little funny. Another thing that I struggle with is just people aren't like fast, like they're not as fast as you need them to be. They're not moving as mechanically. I made this joke that MR stood for Mosby's robots because I needed people to move like a robot and like constantly, as soon as I say something, you do it, and we got to do it, or else we're all dead. It sucks because I'm like a perfectionist in the way it happens. It gets frustrating when I look behind me. I've left them behind, and it literally says in the right, out of line, and I have a trail following me because they're not moving fast enough.
It's a two-pronged issue, right? You have to find a good leader that fits you, right? Some leaders are better at tactics, but they're horrible with the PR and the morale and stuff like that. And then there are some that are the opposite. They're good at the PR and the morale, but they're horrible at tactics. So you got to find the one that clicks with you. And then the second part is not all leaders are great, but not many are bad. Some of them will yell at you if you're not listening to them, and they're not being acceptive of your unit's weaknesses. Overall, the leaders in the community, for the most part, are decent. There's not many that are bad, but there are some that are worse, and they're the ones that nobody wants to follow, and you can tell.
Horses win.
Yeah,
Horses win.
There are some things for the developers specifically. There's some things that I would wish for them to add, like specific details of uniforms, of weapons, and whatnot. Obviously that's nothing we can control. It's just whether they decide they want to add that specific thing. When are they going to add some of the other historical stuff?
They should add purchasable clothes. I want to wear Mosby stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
merch.
want
Yes.
I want
When is merch?
microtransactions.
Yes,
When
I
are
want
my
microtransactions.
microtransactions? When's my battle pass
This
getting
is
here?
the one time I'm asking for a microtransaction. Give me one.
Let me get a War of Rights hoodie.
Fantastic. That is a wrap, gentlemen.
A hearty rebel yell to Colonel Slumpy, First Sergeant D1 Crashout, and the troops of Mosby's Raiders for their investment of time and energy for this video. While unorthodox, during my time with Mosby's Raiders, I found them to be welcoming and a joy to play with. Rambunctious during muster, but locked in on their target when the time came for killing. Within the Raiders, you will find tightly knit friends that simply love the game. Their Discord will be linked down below, so hop in, say hi, and tell them Spicy sent you. That is, if you think you have what it takes to be a Raider. Until we meet again, my name is Spicy Llama of the 20th Georgia Volunteer Infantry Regiment, and in case we don't meet again, may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face to shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen and amen.